Hello and welcome once again to the Team 7 podcast. I am accompanied by my two dearest friends, Asher and Zach, as always, here in the flesh virtually over Zoom. We're in episode 14. We're looking at episodes 88 through 94 of Naruto, The Search for Tsunade Part 2. This batch really kind of covers like one storyline, or I guess two that comes into one, but it's pretty straightforward as far as I feel like in the past with previous arcs, we've had like 5 or 6 different things that never even intersect, but they're telling multiple stories. So this was a little different. So what were your all's thoughts? And we can start with both of you guys getting mad at me about where this breaks off, which I think is amazing.
Totally uncalled for, man.
I just want Kabuto to get his insides messed up by that Rasengan. So bad.
If he doesn't, and this is a giant week-long break of some trust issues, it's even going to be worse. But I just want exactly what Asher said. I just want Kabuto to get what he deserves, man. Especially after Naruto came into that totally innocent, forgetting everything that we know and going straight back to the last time he saw him at the tuning exams. Ugh. What a snake in the grass, if you will.
What a nasty boy. We do not like Kabuto. We do love Tsunade though, right? Or do we? Is it just me?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we do love Tsunade around here.
Big fan of Tsunade. Grandma Tsunade, as my boy Naruto says.
Gosh, that was funny.
I know, we just started, but I really enjoy Tsunade. Just her character, I can just tell she's going to be like a core piece of the story moving forward. I don't know why. I just feel like she's got more story to it in the future. We got a lot of Tsunade story though. But
yeah, we did, with just like the comparisons between Naruto and her brother, or her little brother, and then her like fiance or just lover. I don't know. But
Orochimaru calls Dawn her beloved. So interpret that as you want.
Also,
I would say
it is Dawn, not Dan, right?
No, it's Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then, so
just spelled like Dan.
I did want to specify that I watched the sub and then did the dub afterward, which was very helpful to not just clear a lot of things up, but it kind of like gave me information that I definitely did not catch on my first watch through of sub. So that was cool. But I definitely would have called him Dan if not for the dub calling him Don, because I was just going by the spelling as a stupid white American.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Dan. It makes sense, but yeah.
Update on my viewing experience. Well, I have started watching dub and sub at the same time. Because I need to be able to spell all these names. So I watch dub and just read the words too.
I respect that. I did that today. I was just telling y'all a little bit ago, but I was on Netflix watching it and had the subtitles on, listening in dub, but then I did the playback speed to 1.5 and flew through a couple of the episodes, which, just to be completely honest, it's tough not to do that. Like, not for every episode for sure, but some of them I like already kind of know what to expect, or I've watched it so many times that it's like I kind of do. I just want to like turn the playback speed up and then get through it, but 9 times out of 10 I don't, because on Crunchyroll you can't change the playback speed. So and I have been trying to watch all of it there just so the entire, like, this is so dumb, this is so stupid, but like so that the entire inventory like shows that it's all been watched. I don't know why, but I like that. So
Completionist, bro.
I was like,
I
well, I
get
mean, if
that.
I'm gonna watch all of it, yeah. But I don't know. It's dumb, but I want to do it. So anyways, at the beginning of this, Naruto, well, okay, so like we only see Sasuke for like a second. I can't even remember if we even see Kakashi, but they're asleep this whole week that this whole thing happens. The entire batch. Sasuke and Kakashi are asleep, which is just a weird fact, but it always like comes to mind whenever I see this part. It's always like they've been knocked out for a week. Like that's a long time.
Yeah, they're like
And it's
recovering,
just
right?
yeah. Yeah. And they're still at the end of this, like we still know that Sasuke is still out.
Right.
And I gave you a mild spoiler with Kakashi, but yeah. You'll find that out in no time. But so Naruto and Jiraiya, they're working on a new jutsu for Naruto, the Rasengan, as we come to find out. Did that like answer any questions for you guys for any like potential spoilers you've seen up to this point with like Naruto like holding a Rasengan and you've been like, I have no clue what that is? Or have you just not seen that prior to this at all?
I don't.
Because I feel like it's on a ton of promotional stuff.
Oh, okay. If I had seen it, I did not remember, and I just don't have a good memory anyway. But I did want to say,
Shocker.
right, when he did finally kind of get it charged up, it seemed like a Kamehameha thing from Dragon Ball Z, and I liked that.
Oh, for sure, for
It
sure.
seemed kind of throwbackish, but in a good way. It didn't seem like it was copying or anything because it is very different.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
about
think that I've necessarily like anytime I see something Naruto that clearly he's older or a different, you know, outfit or whatever, I typically just like immediately turn away, don't even like pay attention to it. So it didn't like connect a dot to me either. It just
mm,
it feels like a brand new thing. So um yeah, it was cool to see him train, in a different way though. I mean, previous trainings with Jiraiya seemed to feel pretty predictable in the same scenario was going to happen over and over, but this one seemed to move a little quicker, and I was appreciative of that. I mean, he
mm,
mastered 3 steps in, I don't know, like 6 episodes,
yeah.
5 episodes, which is impressive to everyone else around him. And they're like, "This is crazy because the 4th Hokage, it took him, like, what, 3 years?"
Yeah.
And, Naruto is flying through it, and, but yeah, I haven't really caught on that that's something that is gonna be a future, like, staple of the Naruto character.
Gotcha. Yeah, it
Uh,
evolves, but it's like the counterpart to Chidori. Like this is like his like jutsu
that's
that
like his big guy.
yeah, and that's why he was like asking Kakashi to teach him before they left. And then Jiraiya, whenever he was like, come with me, and Naruto was like, no, that was like the agreement was that he was going to teach him like his Chidori. Because Jiraiya
Gotcha.
even was like, I'll teach you something that will make Chidori look like child's play or something like that along those lines.
See, that makes sense because later we find out in these episodes that Jiraiya taught the 4th Hokage. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or he was his sensei? And it
Yeah.
makes sense that, I mean, if that was the 4th Hokage's kind of like big thing, and they're the only 2 people up until Naruto, right, who have learned it, seems like
Yeah.
a pretty big deal. I didn't really think of that until now that we're talking about it, like how big of a deal that actually is.
Yeah. So I don't know, I can't remember for sure, but I can say this. Um, that is the 4th Hokage's jutsu. So we can assume that Jiraiya didn't teach that jutsu to him, but
Oh, okay.
he learned it from I guess from him at some point. And you will get answers for that. But I just can't remember specifically what's been said. But I I know what I've said so far is spoiler proof. But yeah. Sorry, I completely blanked on what I was about to bring up next. That is such a bad transition.
Can I give you a quick?
Oh, okay.
Go
So
ahead.
Tsunade and yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna give my favorite moment from episode
No, you go.
88, but go ahead, because it's at like the end
Yes.
of the episode.
No, come on.
It's just the
No,
lineup.
I'm moving on.
It's the line. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were moving past that first episode, but the lineup of Naruto, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Choji is just hysterical to me. That they're
Yes.
given, was it Iruka in
Yeah.
that flashback? They're giving him so much crap. Like,
I know.
people don't learn well this way. We can't just sit in a classroom. And it threw back to like Naruto, or no, I guess it was Shikamaru who was like just snoozing every class, and he and Naruto being kind of the, I guess, black sheep of the class as far as paying attention and learning things. But it's just funny to see the four of them as youngsters, and
Yeah.
again, a little more of that like world building and kind of seeing the characters together. I really enjoy that, and we don't get any time with anybody else. Like you said, Sasuke is in the hospital. He's just zonked. Sakura has like 3 lines throughout all of these episodes. And then other than that, we don't see anybody except in the opening and closing credits, and they're all wearing bathing suits, which was weird, by the way.
Yeah.
Little weird.
Yeah. 13, 12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Anko. That was cool.
Oh.
In the credits.
See, I watched it when it switched because we're at the mid-season, so the post-credits switched at some point in this batch. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
I still meant opening credits. But yeah, closing credits.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fighting, I think Fighting Dreamers goes the entire season, which is the opening.
But it switched. You're right. It switched to like a late '90s, early 2000s, like pop R&B song or something.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it did. It's like, I like the one that we just came out of a little bit more, but I like them all. I'm a nerd.
Speaking of 90s, early 2000s, it definitely dated back to that scene where they're all like being rebellious to Iruka. And he was like, "Get back here. You got to learn to concentrate." And Naruto's like jumping out of the window, and he just says, "As if." And I was like, wow, haven't heard that in a hot minute.
Oh, whatever.
It's funny. Something personal about me. My wife says "as if" to me, like being serious, but also joking. Like it's gotten to the point where she will use it seriously, but it's from a joking place. But it has become so commonplace now that it didn't even ring a bell for me that was weird when I watched that in the dub.
That is amazing. I'm going to start using as if to everyone.
I like and how.
Please do.
It makes a lot less sense, but I like and how. It's a kind of substitute for the same kind of thing. And how.
If you go down to the bottom right, you can hit leave and just leave.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
As if.
Make you the host.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay,
Please
what
don't.
What were you going to move us on to? The pain within Tsunade's heart?
Yeah, basically, I was going to bring up Tsunade and the first time that they meet and the pig basically having its own reaction. I just thought that was the next thing I was going to talk about. Was they're at that restaurant and everybody is like, I think it's whenever Jiraiya's like, the leaf has spoken. They made the decision, you are going to be the next Hokage, and then like it does that like anime like esque like pop to like each. Yeah, exactly like that. And the pig was one of them. I thought that was funny. I don't know why, but
Tauntaun is the pig. We love Tauntaun around here. with her pearls on.
Did they rename Tauntaun in the dub? I don't think
Ooh.
so. I don't think they renamed any characters.
No, it's Tauntaun.
Okay, cool.
And again, I have the subtitles on too, and I thought it said Tuntun, and I rewinded it, and she definitely says Tauntaun.
Mm.
She being Shizune. We finally get a
Shizune.
name to the face.
We love Shizune around here.
Big fan of Shizune and all that she brings to the balance of Tsunade's hot natured, just
She's crazy, dude.
Hot natured.
yeah, she's just not necessarily like looks. I didn't mean it that way. I meant like she's very emotional, and Shizune is able to be like, "Yo, tone it
Voice of reason.
down. Come
Yeah.
on."
Hey, quick clarification there. Shizune was Dawn's sister? No. Niece?
No.
What's happening
niece.
there?
Yeah.
Niece. Okay, that's right.
Niece. Yeah.
Yeah, she on uncle a few times, and like my uncle and your brother. So it's definitely niece.
Yeah. One time when she said that, I was like, wait, are the uncle and brother like the same person? Because that would be a little weird. But that was not it. Those were two separate people,
No.
Zach, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah. I did think it was a cool piece of imagery. So when Orochimaru and Kabuto finally catch up to Tsunade, um, they kind of destroyed that castle that Shizune wanted to see so bad. And little side note while I'm in this story too, I feel like Tsunade should trust her gut more because she was like calling it like there's something weird going on here. There's a weird vibe. And I know it's like part of the story and like all that stuff, but I was just like, you need to get out of there if you feel that way in the future. But I just thought it was a cool piece of imagery because Orochimaru at one point says, "Anything with form must one day decay," and it's like a drone shot over the scene, and it's like the entire castle's destroyed, and it's like this older castle that's probably it's a tourist attraction, so it's definitely been around for a long time. I just thought that was a nice touch on the animator's part, the
Yeah.
story overall.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I agree.
Good little metaphor there,
So,
too.
did you guys? Yeah, for sure. Um, did you guys catch whenever Shizune, Jiraiya, and Naruto were running to catch up with Tsunade at the castle? Um, there was at one point a
But
frame where
Naruto's upside
Naruto
down?
is lying upside down. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
why?
I don't know why. I don't know why, but it is that way in the manga as well. Because I went to check because I was like, why? So I just went to that chapter on my phone, and sure enough, he's upside down. So I ran out of time today, but if I can find it real quick, because I did find a Reddit post earlier, but I wasn't able to read any of it. But let's see if I can
Do they have like an explanation for it?
find the reason.
Because
why.
that was one of my biggest notes from like all of these episodes. Like, why is he doing that just for fun? Because we see Orochimaru and Kabuto pretty much flying, and it was reminiscent to me of when they're chasing after the sand like Gaara, Tamari, and Kankuro, and it really seems like they're just flying through that forest. And what was weird to me about the Orochimaru and Kabuto thing is they weren't necessarily in a forest. So are they literally like leaping from the ground, going so fast and so far and high into the air and just like leapfrogging this stuff? Like, how's that working? Or do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. We're just kind of like told to assume that or not told, just kind of expected to assume that that's how ninjas move. Like they're either like practically wise, that is not smart. Practically, don't know how for sure, but if I had to guess, it'd be like they're putting chakra into their feet and then like jumping with that to be able to like move at higher and further distances and speeds.
Hmm.
But that's just a guess. But we're just kind of like expected to be like, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Like that's what they do. They're ninja.
I'm cool
But
with it.
yeah.
Wait, what were you looking? Were you looking for the frame where he's like upside down?
Yeah. So and basically all of it is just a bunch of people commenting on someone asking why and everyone just commenting stupid things. So um I don't know. We may not have an answer for that.
I have a question though while we're on this scene. Not the scene of them running to find Tsunade and Shizune, but the scene with Orochimaru, Kabuto, Tsunade, and Shizune. Um, how is Orochimaru moving his arms? Because I thought they were like rendered immobile.
Yeah, so
Can I guess real
Kabuto had
quick?
go ahead.
I was gonna guess because we find out Kabuto is like in the medical corps or whatever that he at least had enough of a jutsu or whatever to kind of heal Orochimaru to the point that he is when we see him in these episodes, but he definitely doesn't have enough to heal him all the way, which Tsunade could do.
Yeah, that's basically it. Kabuto had medicine for him to or develop medicine for him to fix it somehow. We don't really know and we're not really told. So yeah, but Kabuto. That's why.
Kabuto's
And
got
just
a lot
barely.
of pills in his fanny pack, so I'm sure he has something for Orochimaru.
Yeah.
They
He's
look like chocolate covered espresso beans.
Thought the
Those things
same
give me
thing.
energy for real.
I wish that was like a product you could buy somewhere. Kabuto's chocolate covered espresso beans. I'd buy the
I'll be
shoot
crunching
out of
on
that.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Wait, what would it sound like? Logan wasn't actually listening. Maybe one more time.
I hated that. I hated it the first time and I hated it the second time actually a little bit more.
Well, what
Uh
about the third?
so yeah, basically no one really knows. From what I can tell, it just seems like everybody's like, how funny. He's upside down. They drew it like that on purpose. Like,
I feel like that might have been the studio too of like, yo, did you mean to do this
yeah.
upside down? And he was like, whoops. He's like, well, we're putting it in there. He's like, you better.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's a Reddit post.
Yeah. That's so funny. Um so several of the comments on that Reddit post were really stupid. Just like it's part of his training. It's I don't even know. Some of them I don't want to say on here, so I'm just not going to. But anyways, did you guys think that Tsunade was gonna do you guys are you not trusting enough at this point that you're like anything that I think is gonna happen, the opposite's gonna happen? Or did you think that she was gonna take Orochimaru's offer?
Ooh, that's a great question. I had I had this sinking feeling that she might I don't know. It's hard for me to get back into that headspace after now watching it twice because it's like, well, of course she wouldn't.
Right.
But um yeah, I don't know. I did kind of feel like whatever she said, she would maybe try to like goose him somehow. Um I didn't really think after the whole thing with Jiraiya, I didn't think that she would so directly try and just like perform a jutsu on him, I thought maybe it would be a little more subtle, which does kind of suck because Kabuto was able to spot it so quickly. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish she would have been like, "Hey, let's go out for drinks," and then slip him a Mickey, as Jiraiya said. Can I just say real quick, after watching sub up to this point and only doing a little dub for the very early season 1 episodes, Jiraiya's voice is ridiculous. I love it. But it was just not what I was expecting after sub for so long.
Yeah, you had texted us this week and said that you had switched to for a rewatch, and you said you hated all of them.
I hated
So talk to us about that.
hated every single one of them,
Have
especially
they grown on you?
yeah, for sure. I mean, after doing like 7 episodes worth, it's like, oh, that's just their voices, but
Yeah,
it was just
the
a
initial
jolt.
shock.
Yeah. And Kabuto especially was just like, I'm this guy that talks like this, and it's very matter of fact, and I suck. And I really, really hated him for it.
Yeah, Kabuto sucks. Well, I'm glad you like him at least a little bit more because I like them, obviously. I go back and forth it on like what my preference is. Basically, week to week. It's sometimes I struggle through one of them, or sometimes I watch both, or sometimes I struggle through both at the same time, and I just am not in the mood for Naruto. But we watch it anyways because we have to schedule this. We have a schedule to keep. Stutter.
I'm always in
Anyways,
the mood, especially when Tsunade's around.
Well, let me go back
true.
to the question.
Yes, please.
With Tsunade, I feel like I kind of picked up on like she seems like she's gonna be like I mentioned this at the beginning. I feel like she's gonna be here for the long haul, and so I didn't really get the vibe that she was gonna fall for that. She grew up with Orochimaru. Orochimaru didn't seem to be different in the flashback with her brother.
It's a
Um,
great point.
he seemed to be similar vibe the whole way through. And I feel like she was just like, yeah, I'm not going to trust this guy. He's always been kind of snaky. And surely, I don't care what jutsu you performed. I feel like everyone knows death is not the one that you mess with. Um, and there's always consequences more than just like, yeah, you can bring somebody back to life. And for the most part, I just felt like Tsunade was going to stay true to the home team, if you know what I mean.
The
And she
leaf.
didn't disappoint.
I do know what you mean, but only because that leaf fell on Naruto's head during training, which takes us back to the Iruka flashback
True.
again,
Oh,
which is
that's
so
right.
like he perfectly flies these leaves right at their foreheads. 4 of them in a row. It's amazing. But anyways, Zach, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's hard for me to remember. I don't really remember watching this part for the first time. Like I remember before this and I remember after this, but this I just don't have a memory of it. But as far as I can remember, it always just like seemed to make sense that like Tsunade wouldn't give into it. Just like it seemed like out of character for the show. But the one thing that I could have seen happening was like she somehow like fixes his arms like with not without meaning to, but like regretful, like right after or something like that, maybe.
Mm.
Just to like, I don't know, more drama. But obviously that didn't happen. So it is weird how Orochimaru will just use his body. It like ragdolls the top half, but he's like still a threat. Like it's like I don't know. And they're able to summon with his blood. I guess it is a blood contract, so it doesn't matter who does the signs. That was confusing me earlier because Kabuto summoned those those snakes.
Oh, that's right, because he
And
did the signs for it. That was strange. But I guess they're
yeah,
they're pretty, not to use snaky metaphor, but they're pretty intertwined, which I want to talk about a little later. I did just want to mention something Zach said kind of sparked this, but the fact that Orochimaru was like, or no, I think Kabuto says it. He's like to Tsunade, you have to provide the two people to sacrifice for this. That was one of the moments where I was like, there's no way she's going to do that. Like, she has to go find two randos out there and just be like, you got to die so I can. Sorry, Kakashi. You got to die so that I can bring people back from the dead who, in my
right.
opinion, are not. I mean, I guess it is their soul, but it's not really completely the same person, right? Or it is in soul, but it's not really in body, because the first and second Hokage just seemed really just not right, I guess.
Yeah. So, Orochimaru's jutsu is definitely not like fully polished.
Okay.
But
Okay.
basically what's happening is they're suppressing the soul of who's in that body. Um, and I think that they die from it pretty soon after, if not immediately.
Mm,
I remember for sure.
dark.
But then that soul that they've like called back to life goes onto that body. But there's a lot of details as to like how that works and whatnot that just in time. But for right now, it's just not polished.
True.
Not that it becomes polished, it just that's all that I can tell you. It's not polished. So uh yeah, I mean, yeah, of course not. Like, of course she's not gonna go get like two randoms and just like sentence them to death for these two people to come back in like a very like fragile and broken form. Um, it's a weird like I don't know, not trade. Like I don't know. I guess it is a trade because like she was gonna fix the arms, but like the whole thing is just weird to me because like he comes up and she has not like no interest in working with him. And then he mentions bringing them back. And for me personally, like if I put myself in her shoes, I guess I don't know. Like for me personally, who I've lost, I wouldn't like there's no way I could just like sentence two random people to death to bring those people back. And as much as I love them. So it just kind of seemed like why would she ever entertain it? Like I mean, she'd have to actually be crazy, but it just feels a little far fetched. Maybe that's too
Well,
critical.
to that point, I feel like that speaks to Kabuto and Orochimaru is like they are crazy. Like
Yeah.
they're hell bent on a different agenda completely, and that just proves it. Like, hey, we'll give you these two people that you love, but you like casually just saying, but you're gonna have to kill two other people, and that's on you. It's like the world doesn't operate like that, guys. Like,
Yeah, it's a good
why do
point.
you think that that's normal?
Like
Yeah.
they're
To
they're
just so like
they're so
go ahead.
far gone that they would think someone else would do that. And Orochimaru even says like, I know Tsunade better than anybody. Like, I know that she's going to go through with this. I was like, that's a big oversight, bro.
Yeah,
Like, you should have thought this through.
absolutely.
And he totally believed it up until Kabuto intervened. That was just interesting. But I'm sure we'll get a little more of their history, but it's just interesting that the three of them were all in a group together and then split so hard. I hope that
Yeah.
doesn't happen
Well,
with
it
our
also
main
just,
trio.
I don't know what, changed in the background for Orochimaru, but in the flashback, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade were all in that meeting during the war when she stands up to fight for one person in each squad to be trained as a medical healer. Like, if you if I'm in a meeting with a teammate and they're like advocating for people to be saved rather than killed, why would I claim, well, I know this person more than anybody else? She would clearly kill anybody to fix this scenario. It's like that seems like the entirely different version of who you're remembering,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
great point. Like it wouldn't like if you know her so well, that would be extremely out of character for her.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like it shows
Well,
Orochimaru's like power drunkenness that we talked about last week. Like he's so
yeah.
focused
Exactly.
on
Exactly.
his goal of getting all the jutsu, catching them all or whatever, that he thinks he's got a skewed view of like how other people are or something. It's wild, bro.
It also feels like he's in panic mode because he doesn't have his arms, and that's the way that he can operate. The one thing he's trying to get is the most jutsu and the most, power in that sense, and he cannot operate without his arms, and he's like, I don't know, I just feel like he's in panic mode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tsunade is his like only choice to get his arms back. And to add to this, remember back in the beginning of the tuning exam, he had just switched bodies. So it's gonna be a little bit before he can do that again. So he's kind of stuck with no arms for some time. So Tsunade is like his last hope to get him back in any sort of like timely manner. And while he's still a threat, and that's crazy, because he's got Kabuto by his side, but like also just because of who he is and his like snake neck and all that. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, a huge disadvantage still to not have his arms because that's how he does all of his jutsu, and there's no other way to do that. He has to form the hand sign. So, uh, yeah, I mean, it makes sense why he would be so desperate and, like Zach said, in panic mode, and how delusional he is to think that she would bite on it. Because even whenever Kabuto threw the kunai was like, to signal for Orochimaru to get away from her.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, he was like shocked. He was like, I couldn't believe that you would do that to me, like that you would try to hurt me. Um,
So he's living in
which
some
was interesting.
fantasy world for sure.
Gotta be
He's
right.
pretty far gone. I'm really interested to see. Well, here's what was kind of interesting to me about his what do you call it? Like his path as a villain, essentially. But when they do the flashback, he says some things like, this is war, people die.
Yeah,
And I'm just wondering, like, was he really always that way? What was his, kind of turning point where he lost humanity, I guess? And I'm not saying Tsunade has, but she experienced the death of her little brother and her um significant other, and that makes sense that she went from somebody who really actively cares for other people to like, dude, I'm just gonna go gamble because life's kind of pointless.
yeah,
But like, what was that for Orochimaru? Because it had to have happened really early, and it's just interesting to me that when he was being trained by uh Saratobi, like how did Saratobi not get through to him? Or I don't know. Is this not, maybe it's like a Gara thing, like it was just crappy childhood something, but I'm interested to see how that plays out. And last thing, real quick, I feel like I've talked way too long, but
no,
Kabuto, I want to know, where did he come from? Like, what is his deal? Here's one of my speculations, by the way. I think he has shapeshifted a little like Orochimaru.
oh,
That's my prediction for him.
okay.
I think
Let's
he's
remember
like
it.
75 years old. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
So, I say this for literally everything, but it's true. And I mean, time will tell you, but you will get your answers. And you'll get specific answers to every single thing that you asked.
So happy about that.
But I will say that it is a long game for the payoff on every single answer, because it's like callback after callback at the end, which is great. It's just great payoff. But yeah. So
all I have to say for Kabuto is if it hadn't been for Kabuto, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did he come from? Where did he go?
Hold on, I can kick him.
Where did he
since
come
I'm
from?
the
Kabuto.
I'm technically like the leader of the Zoom meeting, so I can just go ahead and kick him.
yeah, just kick him out of here. We don't need that in here. I'm disgusted. So at first it was flying so far over my head, and then it got me, and I said, "Oh, he's being disgusting." I remember.
It took me till
I don't know why
if
I'm
it
such
hadn't been. I got to Ben and I was like, oh shit.
why am I so like why do I have such a visceral reaction to puns?
Let's unpack that.
I would do that right now. No problem. I have no clue why. But every single time I'm like gross, which evidently is visceral.
Is it because so many other people think that they're funny?
I don't know, but I think Zach's funny.
No, I mean like the puns.
And I think you're funny, but you tell the
Thank
puns you tell make me they make me want to not talk to you again.
I wouldn't tell them if they didn't make you cringe and Zach laugh. So
cringe, that's the word that I'm looking for there. Yeah, they make me cringe. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyways,
for real, if it hadn't been for Kabuto, I'd been married a long time ago.
Where'd he come from? Where'd he
go?
You had me for a split second thinking you were gonna like continue a thought about Kabuto. But it kind of fits too. What you're saying kind of fits with the show too.
Can I transition to my favorite moment from these?
Can I guess what your favorite moment is?
Sure.
It is gonna be Gamma, Ichi and Gamma,
Tatsu.
Yeah.
That is not it, but we can definitely talk about that.
I will bring it up at some point. It's on my notes, but what were you?
Can I guess real quick? Was it when
sure.
It's Asher, but that's okay. Was it when Tsunade picks up the rock after Kabuto and Orochimaru like zip away and she crushes it, and you thought, mild spoilers for Attack on Titan, skip 20 seconds if you want. Did you think that Zeke was gonna like she was gonna like throw the rocks like Zeke and just mess them up so bad?
I didn't until you just said that, but that is an amazing thought, and I'll go back and watch that scene again and maybe make a meme.
We need to go back to
Sasquatch.
Even though I just said these make me cringe, we need to go back to Asher's response to
Zach. Sure.
And he says it's Asher, but thanks, and then just continues on. I thought that was great, so thank you for that.
I like Usher too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. So
in the club with
talk about let's talk about your favorite part.
Yeah,
Asher?
my favorite part. Yeah, me.
Yeah, sorry, my fault.
It's me. I'm Asher.
Got it.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
All right. So let's hear your favorite part then, problem.
At tea time, everybody agrees.
I stare directly at the mirror.
I'm not even going to edit this episode. I'm never going to post it to YouTube. Asher, you can do what you want.
Okay.
So
It
my
is. I
favorite.
stare directly at the
Oh
sun,
my
but never in the
gosh.
mirror. Just for the record,
This is actual torture for
It's-
everyone listening. No one's listening anymore. They all turned it off. All right, Zach, for our one listener, continue.
All right, I gotta fix it. I'll stare directly at the sun,
instead of in the
but
mirror,
never in the mirror.
it must be exhausting.
Ah,
This is exhausting.
Always rootin' tootin' for Kabuto, because if it hadn't been okay, please go ahead.
all right. So my favorite segment from these episodes was the meeting between Tsunade and Naruto when he's like super confused about everything, just acting like a little punk child, just yelling. So there's several moments. Um, that he's definitely confused. He's trying to figure out, what's going on. He stands up on the table, like again, child. Jiraiya has to act like the father figure he seems to be, and is like, sit down. It just is funny to me. Um, but my favorite scene is when literally Tsunade challenges him to a one-on-one in the street and flicks his head and like knocks his head off. I don't know, just everything about that. I was just like, this was my reaction to most of that pretty much the whole time.
And then she even says, like, what's gotten into me? Challenging a child to a battle. I thought
Yes.
that really endeared her character to me because she's very self-aware, but just in a tough spot. She's got a great
For
story.
sure.
Yeah.
The other thing too, like even just thinking back to that scene, she is so freaking powerful.
Yeah.
Like she went up to kick the ground next to Kabuto and Orochimaru, and she like made a crater on the ground. She flicked Naruto in the head, and there's like road damage for like 500 feet. And I'm like, girl, what you eating?
What you eating?
She got a pack of Kabuto's espresso beans.
I had what was what was that?
No, you don't say that like you want Zach to do that again. You don't want that.
So now I can't even remember.
Yeah, somebody talk. It's just like staring up.
I don't want to talk anymore. I wanted to leave it on just stuck on him. That's what you guys do to me at the beginning. Or that's what you did last week at least. I was just stuck. Or was that 2 weeks ago now? Anyways,
It's stuck now because you can't finish your thought.
I can never finish my thought. I want to talk about the frogs. So
Oh, you mean Elmo or Mr. Hanky the Christmas poo?
Dude, I put Elmo for what is the one's name? Gamatatsu. I was like, is this Elmo's voice actor? Good grief. They're back and forth for like a full minute in the middle of this battle. Like, did everyone really just stop to let these frogs talk to each other and figure out what the hell they're doing there?
yes, and I thought it was hilarious.
It was great comic relief, but I was expecting at any moment to be like, howdy ho.
Hey, speaking of Mr. Hanky, the best lyric in that song is "Therefore vicariously he loves you." That's the song like where I learned the word vicariously, and I'm so happy that the South Park creators were able to do that for me.
So explain that to me, Mr. Hanky. What do you mean by that?
Mr. Hanky's the
He
Christmas.
just sounds like him.
The
He
Christmas
sounds like
poo.
Elmo or Mr. Hanky the Christmas poo.
No, what
South
is
Park.
Mr. Oh, okay. So it's a character on South Park. So that's really funny because Nick, my brother, he actually may know this and it's not hit me because I didn't really watch South Park. But his gamer tag is Mr. Hanky. And I had like there's no way that he knows because like knowing him, I think he would hate South Park. But it's a huge coincidence that that's his gamer tag, but he doesn't know.
It's literally a turd with a Christmas hat that sings songs.
That is hilarious.
I'm surprised you've never heard of Mr. Hanky.
No,
But
never.
yeah, it is a medium-sized turd that
Oh, I just found it.
You know what's funny about like Zach, you saying that Logan, like that's surprising that he's never heard of it. I only heard of it through the song for about 6 or 7 years and didn't really realize it was from South Park. And then, because I wasn't allowed to watch South Park for a long time, and still I'm probably not allowed to watch it, but then I did, and I
He
was like,
does
oh, this is from,
whenever he goes to bed.
yeah. I'm like, I'm sneaking it right now. My parents will never find out. They'd be so
Good
mad
for
if
you,
they did,
dude.
though.
That makes me that I'm so happy for you.
if my mom ever watched this, she would probably lose her mind. But my dad used to watch it with me, and like I wasn't even allowed to watch SpongeBob, y'all. But sometimes, like, I'd like get up from bed or whatever, and I'd like find my dad watching South Park. I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "Just don't tell your mom."
That's incredible.
I love that.
What a guy.
Well, so that's kind of most of it. Now that leaves just the end where they're obviously fighting, doing their thing. It's weird because Jiraiya's like he's not even close to full power. I think he said 30% at one point. And then Tsunade is having a mental break. And then that just leaves Naruto catching kunai between his fingers, which like that's gonna take forever to heal.
Oh,
And that's gonna hurt so bad. But
he always
yeah,
ends up doing something badass. And he's like,
yeah.
he's a
It's like the
kid.
show's named after him.
Sure. But we've talked about even in these episodes, he's a kid, he's rash, he's like quick to, I guess, anger, quick to action without really thinking through it. And then he has these moments of brilliance. And I was like, God, that's cool. I love
Yeah.
that moment. And the note I made, and I've been making like less and less notes throughout the episodes and really just trying to watch them and keep track of people's freaking headbands or whatever. But the note I made right before that was, God, this battle is boring. Like there's nothing happening and a lot of talk. And then that happened. I was like, never mind. It was awesome. And then that was like
The
the end of
one
the episode.
the one note I had from that moment too is I'm fascinated with the fact that Tsunade is scared of blood.
Yeah.
Like it's just a funny note to put in there, but a continuity error, or maybe she's overcoming her fear. But when that happened, she was like ingenious. It wasn't gross. It wasn't fearful to her to see blood coming out of someone else's hand. Cause I was honestly like expecting like maybe a piece of comic relief, maybe like another like moment. Cause when she gets cut herself, it's like blood, you
Yeah.
know, not funny. And it was
Well, and
like
she actually doesn't even get cut. Um, unless are you talking about with Orochimaru whenever she's running at him?
so at some point I thought she gets cut because she's like covered in blood.
It's
Orochimaru cut himself.
Oh, okay.
Ah, that's what it was.
I was thinking
Yeah.
either he or Kabuto did that and just kind of splattered. I thought it was Kabuto because later he like
Oh
sprays
my god,
blood.
those darts right at Naruto's eyes with the blood. That was
I was like, this is
stupid, dude.
gnarly.
Yeah, turns around and just flicks blood right in his eyes. That was
Oof.
crazy. Honestly, that was one of my notes was Kabuto's kind of cold with it. Like, I mean, he fights Naruto and he's good. I hate him. I absolutely hate him, but he's good.
I put that in here somewhere too. I don't remember exactly how I worded it, but like Kabuto's a badass.
I will say this though, he is good, but Naruto has been using a lot of chakra recently
Yeah.
to like train for this Rasengan, and we're left on this cliffhanger or whatever, and it's like all coming to a head. But if Naruto is 100%, I don't think it's an even fight. Just being honest. I mean, he's clean with it, and like you said, he's cold, but overall, he didn't impress me very much on a maybe a 40% Naruto,
Hmm.
on
That's
Yeah.
top
interesting.
of Jiraiya being at like 30 and Orochimaru probably being at like 20, maybe 10. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
Everybody's hurt.
yeah, and then Tsunade. Well, I mean, she mentioned like I can't remember where. I don't know if I made a note on it, but maybe it's her age because she's technically like 50 here, right? But
Yes. Yes.
they
50.
someone else mentioned at some point like she hasn't lost any power. Maybe it was Orochimaru. Um, but then later she was like, "Whoa, this is about all I've got." When she uses something that kind of like it's some green flashing light, and it I guess it kind of heals her or something. Because it seemed like Kabuto essentially used that like chakra scalpel to like puncture a lung or something. So
Yeah.
I will differ just a little from Zach here, where we mostly agree. But I just thought some of those moves that Kabuto was doing were like kind of crazy to me, and the fact that he, I guess, navigated his way through the stuff that Tsunade was throwing at him with the my left shoulder is now like my right knee or whatever was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's no
That
Saiyan. What am I saying? Never mind.
that would be so hard to like relearn motor skills that quickly. Obviously, that would be it's a little far-fetched, but we're just told to believe that he's that good of a ninja to
Yeah,
just
because at one point they say he's
reprogram.
got short circuited
Yeah.
in that like illustration of like his body. That's just crazy that he would learn that back as fast as you were talking. Like,
Yeah.
Now see, that's what makes me think he is not 16 years old or 20 years old or 30. He's like 100, and he's been
He's
doing
still
this
called a kid though. Well, I mean,
in
they are
appearance
all
maybe.
50.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Jiraiya's the only
um
one that kind of looks it. He just looks like a nut.
well, he's the only one that's not used any sort of jutsu or something to change his looks because that's what Tsunade is doing. She's
Right.
using stuff, I believe, jutsu to appear younger, and then obviously Orochimaru is just body switching. So um, they're trying like that's their goal is to stay younger because they don't want to age because they want to be. Well, I guess Tsunade wants to look younger just for looks, but Orochimaru doesn't want to die, which is very different.
True.
yeah.
It's true.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah,
Just a curiosity from this world. If I were a shinobi or Sanin myself, and I didn't know Tsunade, and I met her for the first time, would I be able to tell that she was using a jutsu to transform to be younger, or would that be something that she would have to reveal to me through a clue of her age, or maybe she transforms back or whatever?
it
Just
depends. I
curious.
mean, if it really just kind of depends on the level of ninja you are. And if you don't know her, and the show's weird because the show's still early in writing from the manga and everything. So they talk like the Sanin are
Like
more than
famous,
just
right?
like they are famous, but they talk like yeah, very famous. But they talk like there's more than just the three of them. But it's just the three of them. And it's never any more and it's never any less. That's the three legendary Sanin. So
Interesting.
Like that would be like, how do I describe it? Like they're so legendary that they were given a name as a team, but like it's just the name of their team. So
It's
That-
not a rank.
no, it's not a rank.
See, that was going to be my question because up to this point, I was thinking this is a rank, but like nobody has it. Like it's the three of them and maybe, some other
I could
people or
be
something.
wrong.
But that would make a lot more sense. So you're saying that the three of them as a team earned that title somehow? I was hesitant to look it up because I didn't know if it would like spoil something. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That if that's true, that makes me frowning.
Why? Oh, dude. All right. I got it. Actually, hey, what? Oh, okay. I gotta go, guys. Sorry. This just came up.
oh
Logging
shoot,
off right now.
man.
So just looked it up just to make sure. So yeah, that
As
is
if.
And
that
how?
is not a rank, and it's just the name for their team. So
Are we?
yeah.
Is
Let
it
me
in our
just put
best
just wanted
interest
to make sure I put that
to
out
not
there.
know what the translation of that word is?
Oh, I can give it to you. Hang on one second.
One.
Okay, so
Two.
literal meaning, legendary 3 ninja.
Wow.
So yeah, it is just them.
So direct translation would be legendary legendaries.
Oh,
What?
because legendary signing.
They always say the legendary Sawning, so translated to the legendary legendary.
Oh, okay, the Sanin, but in Japanese it's Densetsu no Sanin. So it's Sanin is, I don't know.
Well,
What is Densetsu?
is it like if someone called them the three legendary signing, they're essentially saying the three legendary ninjas?
Yeah, hey, you're putting out some great points to me. I I don't know because I don't know Japanese, but the literal meaning of Densetsu no Sanin is legendary 3 ninja. So I don't know what is what in that because yeah, I don't know what Sanin means. It's
Okay.
basically what it comes down to. but but I don't forget how we even got here. But anyways,
It
if
means
you met
legendary,
Tsunade,
essentially, right?
you could probably look it up. I don't know.
Okay.
But if you did, if you were a ninja and you didn't know who Tsunade was and you walked up to her, it would basically come down to how much time you spent around her and your rank as a ninja to like pick up on like signs that would show that. But odds are, if she's like such a good ninja or kunoichi, um, then probably not.
So like, let me ask it in a dumber sense. I wouldn't be able to like see through it.
No.
I would
No.
have to infer that through inquiry and picking up clues of like, well, what do you mean you were there in the Great War?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
it's not like a
you would have to
hologram over
be
her face.
super, yeah.
Like that is
Okay.
her face. Yeah. Like it's used to change.
Noted.
Yeah. So did you find the answer for us, Asher?
Nope. Just the
Oh well.
same thing that you found.
Hey,
And
here we
then
go. We can talk to the watcher slash listener. If you know, let us know. What does donetsu mean? And oh sorry, denetsu no sanin. Let us know.
I started Googling and it said Narutopedia, and I immediately clicked off of it because I was afraid of
That's
what
what
I
I'm
would
on
find.
right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
word.
honestly, good because like Narutopedia is great, where you will click on a topic and then it starts like showing clips from that topic, which is really cool. But there's a
Possible
lot of
spoilers.
spoilers here. Oh, all throughout. Anyways, so our boy Naruto comes through in the clutch, absolutely lays one into Kabuto's chest, and then we end it.
You
And-
monster.
You're a real
And okay,
son
so
of a
here's
gun.
the reason why. Because we've only got one batch left for season 4. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But the way it was either have one shorter. I don't know why I do this. It's like because I know that you can only see up here, so I want to talk with my hands, so I bring them up here. And you can't see it, but Asher and Zach are.
I just want to say, I don't think that we were making fun of you, but I did something and then Zach did something, and I wasn't really looking at your screen, so I wasn't
Wow.
making fun of your jutsus over
I
there.
will. Can I be 100% honest with you, Logan?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was not making fun of you.
Oh, well, then what were you guys doing?
Being idiots.
Oh,
The same.
I thought I was just talking with my hands too much, so you guys were just talking with your hands with me.
No, dude. Talk with your hands, baby. That's how you work it.
That is how I work it. Thank you. So I didn't want to leave it an episode shy because I wanted like some payoff whenever I was looking at this break, but it can't go any further because they would make the last batch like not a lot. So it is, and I wanted to create this little bit of like cliffhanger feeling because we get to binge watch all of it. So I'm going to give you cliffhangers so that you guys can feel what I felt whenever I was watching it going through like week to week. So yeah.
Can I just say something real quick on that note?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're watching on the YouTube channel, don't comment spoilers down below because I watch it back sometimes and I've seen one before and I'm like, don't do it. So
That's a good point. Don't be commenting spoilers.
Please. I'm never gonna
So
watch it back.
I wanted I watch them back, but that's just padding those stats, baby. So I've been trying to say this for 5 minutes. I want to ask you because we only have one batch left for the season, and then season 5, the last season of OG Naruto. So what's your guess for how this is going to wrap up?
I'll say real quick, I have no idea because I did not see us going on this journey to find rando grandma.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense now because they're all in the crew together. The 3 legendary Sanin ninja legendary 3, but I just didn't see it really branching off that way and getting away from all the other characters. So I'll say my hope is that we do get back to the Leaf Village because I miss some of the other people. And I hope Kabuto dies. So those are my 2 things.
Okay.
my prediction,
Yep.
bullet pointed. Okay. Tsunade takes the 5th Hokage seat, leaves that Leaf Village. The Sand Village hears that there's a new leader and asks if they can team up to find Orochimaru. And that's all I got. Maybe something with Sasuke because he's still part of the story.
So I maybe didn't pose my question well enough. I meant the end of season 4. I didn't mean the end of the entire series. Because that is a wild guess that you like. That would be crazy if y'all got that right. But
I'm saying I think that's
like,
the end of season 4.
You think that's the end of season 4?
Oh, that's like the next thing that would happen.
I think we have how many episodes do we have in the last
Okay,
batch?
so we should talk about that. We only have 95, 96. We're skipping 97 because that's filler. And then we are going to watch 101, but that is also filler. So we really only have 5 episodes of canon. And there's a lot of it's kind of mixed in with filler too. So 95, 96, 98, 99, and 100 is what you've got. 5 episodes, but it's not going to be a ton of content. Yeah, of canon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's plenty of time. We're going to end the battle. We're going to go back to the village. She's going to say, I take this seat. Next thing you know, Sand Village comes in. They say, hey, this dude killed our Kazekage. What are we going to do about it? Well, let's go get this guy. Season 5 coming up next. Check in, tune in. Let's go.
Okay, I see. So I thought it was like they are going to get him together in season 4. But you mean that's the ramp up for season 5. I see.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, I love it. So again, I just went over this, but we're gonna skip 97. You can watch it if you want. It's Kidnap Naruto's Hot Spring Adventure. It's not bad, but it's just completely filler. It doesn't progress the story at all. It's just a story. But as much as that is just a story, 101 is the same thing. But we are gonna watch it because it's just kind of stupid and iconic, but it's gotta see, gotta know Kakashi Sensei's true face. So that's our next batch is 95 through 101, skipping 97. But yeah, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about from this batch that I've forgotten about or we didn't get around to? I did want to bring up, now that I'm the one talking once again, I had to think that it's Jiraiya's like foresight that he brought Naruto.
Yeah, 100%.
To like manipulate Tsunade on purpose.
Absolutely. I think so
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I have a reason for that. And you guys can disagree with me if you want. So if we're maybe this isn't fair. So we have Team 7 that we have come to know and love. And then the Sanin were a squad growing up as well. And I see parallel from, okay, hear me out. Sasuke and Orochimaru, Sakura and Jiraiya, Tsunade and Naruto.
You see parallel with, how do you give me some examples? Give me some.
I can see
you got the dark sad boy vibe from Orochimaru and
okay. I was gonna say that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Jiraiya and Sakura are obsessed with love. And then Naruto and Tsunade are like, I don't know, they just give me the same vibe. They're just reckless.
Yeah. I was gonna say reckless and powerful would make sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, look at this guy.
Look at this guy.
I'm not completely convinced, but that's a good point.
I love that.
Just
I'm
saying.
loving the speculation. That's what keeps me coming back.
I definitely think.
Would you guys say that Jiraiya and Naruto are more parallel? Is that what's hanging you up?
No, I don't think anyone's parallel with Jiraiya.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's a wild card.
I don't want to answer, so I'm not going to.
But in that sense, I would say that would match up the best. I mean, he goes his own way and indulges his vices. So do the other two. That's the only thing I don't see Sakura doing that. I see her as a more disciplined person. That's the big difference I would see between them. But
when it comes to love, she acts a fool.
But is he obsessed with love or lust? Or is he obsessed with love and he's gone astray?
I think he's obsessed with love, can't find it, and that's the best thing he got.
Yeah. Woof. Makes sense. I only say woof because like I feel for it, you know?
Yeah.
But then even like the money side of it for Tsunade and Naruto, like they're both obsessed with money too.
Yeah, I could see Sasuke and Orochimaru because they're pretty singularly focused as well. Like here's the one thing that I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Side note, I love that Naruto named his frog piggy like a frog wallet.
Yeah, me too. Uh, that's interesting. Very interesting take. Um, one that I just comment reactions and thoughts and whatnot because that is such an interesting thought. So, um,
Are you saying that I'm the first person that's brought this up? Because I feel like that's not true.
no,
If so,
I'm not saying any of that.
I need to be at Comic Con this year.
Mm. Well, I'm not saying any of that, but um, going forward, maybe, but also maybe not.
That's all you
I'm gonna quit
can
wasting
say.
time.
You know,
That is all I can say. I can basically just talk around in circles.
I'll say this too. I do think the part where the Sand Village teams up with them in some way, I could see that happening. I'm a little skeptical of it, but I also just know that there is a I mean Gar's not dead and he's maybe starting to turn. You know, I'm going off of the point I was trying to make cuz it doesn't matter, but it's kind of bothering me that we don't have more time with them up to this point cuz I'm just like what have they been doing this whole time? Like I really wish I knew. I wish the filler was like, here's what's going on in the Sand Village. You don't have to know, but here's what's going on.
I'll
That's
tell you what
actually
they're
brilliant.
doing.
I would love that.
And maybe it is just slice of life and it's just the political aspect of it. And it's like, well, here's the aftermath of them discovering that Orochimaru killed the Kazekage or whatever.
I will say that. Sorry, I'll let you go in just a second, Zach. I will say that most of the filler that happens in seasons like 6 through 9, waiting for Shippuden to start, is
Really?
going back and it's like yeah, or then like what happens between. So, it gives a lot of context, but again, it's just filler. So, but we've always said from the beginning, if you're watching or listening, and you've got an arc that you think that we would enjoy or watch, we will take a look at it and give our thoughts. So yeah, let us know. But what were you going to say, Zach?
To be honest with you, man, I don't know.
It's the worst. Was it something? Mm, I
Was it
don't know. I
something
can't
Sand
remember.
Village? Because I was just mentioning, I
Yeah,
think you might be right about the Sand Village teaming up.
Yeah, I think I was going to say something along the lines of I feel like what they were doing is plotting what they're going to do next, and the best outcome is to talk to the Leaf because they were fooled too. And so, hey, at the end of season 4, we're going to team up and find this guy.
Yeah. I think I'm mostly interested in what Gara Tamari and Konkuro are doing because I want to see like how that relationship evolves, and I also want more flashbacks of them as a team with whatever their sensei's name is, and just seeing like how they were put together and why, and like why Gara if he's this like feared individual and um has clearly murdered people and people are also trying to murder him. Like, where did they find the time to like put them together as a team? But that's all. That's all I got, dog.
hmm, cool. Um, so I guess that this would be a good place to end it then. Yeah? Question mark.
I feel good.
The facial expressions that Zach is giving me while he's off camera are killing me tonight. But that leaves just one batch left until we start season 5, which is great. We've got a lot to wrap up though. And then we get into the best season of all of it. Of all OG Naruto season 5. So um man, really excited. But 95 through 101. We're skipping 97. You can watch it if you want. I might, but we're not going to talk about it. But 101 we will. So see you there. And thank you for watching Team 7. Whatever else you guys want to say.
Right here,
Oh,
right now. Bang.
I was going to say, follow us on social media and shout us out to all your friends, or whatever you want to do. We really appreciate it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. See you next time.